Hello, and Trey Desmo is back with another sublimation video using your Cricut mug press. Have another fun and creative design that I purchased in Etsy, and I like to show everyone. This is a mug that's available in my shop, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, items you will need to sublimate in your Cricut mug press. Items that I use. For this demonstration, we'll use this 15-ounce white sublimated mug, or it has sublimated coating on it. I purchased these from Conde Systems, and I will include a link at the end of the video. The tape I use is the Cricut heat-resistant tape. I've purchased other tape before, which I don't really have the name of it right now, but you commonly will see this yellow tape. It ruined my mugs. I'm not saying all of that does all the time, but when I used it, it had yellow lines on the mug. So ever since I've been using this Cricut infusible heat-resistant tape, I have not seen any lines whatsoever. So that's the tape I use. Of course, you'll need a pair of scissors. And you'll need your transfer, and this is very important that you have to make sure that you reverse your design on your paper. And the paper I'm using is a sub paper, and again I'll include the link to where I purchased that from and exactly which paper I use for my demonstrations. And again, reverse your design or else it's going to be backward on your cup. And then I printed it with my WF Epson 7720 workforce printer, and I use Printers Jack ink, and I'll have those links as well. So, and then you also need, and I'm not sure if I can show it on the video because I have a limited space, but a roll of white butcher paper. You can get it from Costco, but I'll show you where I purchased the paper. It's from Amazon, but it's just white butcher paper. Some people use parchment paper, but I just prefer the white butcher. So let's get started. Now, one of the first steps that I do, I take my mug, and then again, here's my design. I purchased this off the shop in Etsy, and then I added my own graphics to it, saying, "Do you like scary movies?" Even though Halloween's over, you see a lot of fans, and I happen to like this movie. It's one of my favorites. But I'm cutting around the design so I don't have all this excess paper. As close as I can get without cutting little details off. Because I want to make sure I see where it's going to fit on the mug. And I'm just loosely cutting around. Getting this close so I can pretty much place it on the cup without cutting the design itself. So you see, it gives me a rough draft of the area that I have to work with. So just eyeballing it on the cup. I'm going to look for the placement. Now with the Cricut mug press, you want to make sure that you don't get too close to the edge or else you'll have some sort of fading. So I try to keep my edges maybe about this much around. This is about good coverage. And when I put it in the mug press, you'll see what I'm talking about because you have an open space. So just eyeballing it real quick. And some of the design is going to go over the rim of the cup, and that's fine. That's about the area right here. And I'm just giving it a quick look, trying to keep the words straight. And I made my own template, and the program I use to design this is Photoshop Elements. And I did the template by just measuring around the cup and trying to guesstimate. It's not perfect, but trying to guesstimate where the rims are or where the edge is and where I want the placement. Like here's the dew do you like scary movies? So it's right here about the back of the cup. And I got enough room over here where it won't go over where the Cricut mug press is. See how I have this about right here? So that way it'll be even heat distribution. And I'm making sure that the design is flat. And again, trying to make sure my words in the back are straight. And this is pretty good. So next, I'm going to take the Cricut tape and tape this down and try to make sure you get it as flat as you can. So I'll put a couple tape on there and then I'll turn back on. Now I started it off and I just taped the ends where I want the image to be placed. And you see there's good space right here in the middle of the cup where the edges are from the handle, flat down. And what I'm going to do now is take some more pieces of my tape and go all the way around, because we don't want any heat being able to escape or else it's going to be faded. So I'm just going to go and take the tape and tape it around, and I'll show you what it looks like. You can see I have the blue tape going around all the edges, making sure there was no opening anywhere where he can escape. Taped it down all the way around. And where the image overlapped the top, you see I have it going, I used the tape to tape it on the inside as well, so that way that this is going to be flushed and flat. So if you have an image that happens to extend over the top, it's just going to print it on this top part right here, just a little bit, but I'll show you when it's done. But you definitely still have to tape those edges down. And see, it's going all the way around. And now you need to apply a sheet of butcher paper on top to even hold the heat in more so your design comes through. I just took a piece off of the roll that I showed you. It's not even cut perfect or anything, because basically this is just the most important part is you using this heat tape and taping down the actual image. So I just loosely put a piece of this butcher paper over the part that I'm getting printed. I don't put as much care into the butcher paper part as I do when I'm taping the actual image down. See? I just make sure it's pretty secure on there. And it probably does help to, or it does help rather, to cut some of this off at the bottom and put it on camera. Just so it can fit into your mug press easier. See, it's still good coverage. Just see the tape is showing the actual images up here, so. This is for additional heat transfer. So next is the mug press. I'm going to place my mug inside very carefully. And you see, this is what I was referring to, making sure your design isn't so close to the handle, because, and I want to make sure you can see it on the camera, it's like a finger-sized space on either side of the handle. And I'm being very careful because this is very hot, but not this part right here isn't hot, but you see where my finger is able to touch it if I wanted to on either side. So you want to make sure that your design is further away from the handles like we had it, so that way you can get a good heat transfer, because when I close this, it's not going to be covered on that little section, if that makes sense. So, and I'll show you when I close the lever. See, we still have some space. This part came out and covered some more, but we still have enough space, or not enough space, to have it so close to the handle. So I'll be back after it is finished. Okay, the timer just went off, as you can hear. Very careful, very careful, very, very hot. I swear, every time I see smoke and everything, Every time I do this, I burn myself because I'm hard-headed. But I like to see it before it, I don't like to let it sit. I like to take the paper off as soon as I get it out. I should be using well, that's the butcher paper. Okay. Now for this part, I'm not going to use my fingers because that's how I always get myself. If you look at my last video, you'll see I burnt myself the last time. So I'm just going to use this little pick tool. Ooh, kind of got glue on it still, but all right. Use my little pick tool. To hook tape. I would have just taken this off camera, but I want you to see what I'm seeing, so please make sure you don't touch the cup because this is super hot. Ooh. Now that's some good wrapping because it's taking forever. Oh, here's a spot over here I can get. Okay, almost. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's see where it went over the top a little bit. I'm happy. Let me look at the back. Again, this is hot, so I'm moving it real slow. Let me move this out of the way some. Change my camera angle. Do you like scary movies? Yep. Now, I do notice that there's a little bit of fading over here. So see, this is in that finger spot. Well, let me get on camera. That's in that finger spot that I told you not to make sure you get as close. So I guess that's a little bit close or something happened right there. I'm not really sure, but overall, it turned out a pretty good picture. Even in this finger spot, just slight, but not really. I think that might be actually the design, because it's supposed to be that blood handprint. Well, let me turn it around this way. The bloody handprint. So that I'm not worried about. I'm not really worried about this either, because blood splatter, you know, can fade. As long as the main graphic is good, and I am happy. It just depends on how you tape it down and, you know. But overall, again, this turned out to be pretty decent. Fun with sublimation with your Cricut mug press. You can come up with a whole lot of different designs. I love it, love it, love it. I'll probably do another video with another design. I do have this one grateful cup that I want you guys to see that I think is really nice, and that would be on this 11-ounce sublimation mug that I got off Amazon. But again, that'll be the next video, but this is the Condi 15-ounce white sublimation cup. Love it. Thank you for watching.